Ah, yes. Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television, pilots of the past. My name is Jason, but some call me the Black Baguette. And by my side, as always, is my French tickler. It's Philip Ressisher. Good evening, Captain.
You know it, brother.
2 weeks in a row.
I noticed that it was 2 weeks in a row, but that French tickler, man, that you know what? If you were to describe me, if someone was to say, you have this friend Blake that you do a podcast, how would you describe him? And if you said, he's a French tickler, damn right.
Aces.
Okay,
French tickler. Personally, I know you go to the sex store with Molly all the time and buy weird stuff and don't tell anyone what it is, and we guess, and you always say it's wrong, but in fact, we probably have guessed it 3 times over. Sorry for that preamble. I am not much of a...
sex toy?
I'm not much of a sex toy guy. And can I tell you why?
Yeah.
I feel like when you start going down that rabbit hole, the bar keeps getting set higher and higher. It's like, oh, you know what? Now I need this when I have sex. Oh, you know what? This is kind of getting bland. I need this and this. And it's just, I feel like you keep needing to add shit. Am I wrong in saying that?
I would say there's ways to go. There's different avenues to take. It depends on your personality. But I would say, no. I mean, because the drawer, we don't open the drawer all the time.
The drawer, huh?
Right. We don't open
Is there I hope to God there's a lock on that drawer.
Nah.
Next time I'm over here, I'm going to start looking through all the drawers.
But no, we don't. I can see where I have been in relationships and sexual escapades where yes, that probably is right. There was a time where okay, we've done this. Okay, well now we got to top. We got to do this. And then
it's heightened to a point where like oh, you have to get that out every time.
And then all of a sudden you're months and months into it, and you look and you go like, there is no regular sex anymore.
It takes me 30 minutes to strap all this shit on, you know.
Or even without toys, just like freaky stuff. There's at some point you're like, hey, when was the last time like you just sat on top of me and bounced up and down? You know. So I see your point, but you know, for me, in your 40s, you got to spice it up a little bit once in a while. You got to do something different.
Sure.
You know. But,
okay. Now
I always worry about putting a French tickler on my dick and like going in there and it coming out and it just being in there.
Thank you for saying that, because I was going to bring it back around to the French tickler. Now, again, with my very limited experience with
toys,
accessories, vaginal accoutrement, French. I will say that the
French. This is a very French centric.
All right. The French tickler is, to me, it looks like a thick rubber band with spikes on it that goes around your penis.
Right.
Is that it?
Is that in like...
Is that all the French tickler is?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just supposed to be some sort of soft but stimulating thing added onto your junk while inside of a lady.
Right. It's going to stimulate her clitoris and stuff. And
not while you're inside.
Well, it's gonna stimulate all the areas in there. It's not just.
But the clit isn't in.
No,
we know where the clit is.
It's hanging on top. It's like a ceiling fan.
I think. See, you say ceiling fan. I look at the vagina. I think of it as a great constellation across the Milky Way. You got Orion's belt, right? You've got labia minora and
for me, it's
Ursa Minor.
For me, it's a living room. There's a TV and a ceiling fan. You turn the lights on. You turn the lights off.
Close the blinds,
and hopefully your Hulu doesn't expire.
I think that's more Hulu or more living room than anything.
Isn't that what I said?
No, I mean, it's hardly sexual what you're saying.
Well, when you're 43 years old, like me,
happy birthday!
Thank you very much. And again, thank you for the present.
You're welcome.
I love it. You also don't work the way you used to either. When I was 22, I could bang a girl for like an hour and a half.
You're walking around all day stiff as a rock.
Right, but you could prolong it just by being a stud. Now you're thinking of like, you know, whatever you can, and you might not be able to last that long.
Okay, all right. I see
so
what you're
you need you know, it's not all about me.
Well, when I'm
diving deep into that black hole, I can't make it all about me because it's going to last 5 minutes and I'm going to go to sleep.
It's when you're young, it's about stamina. When you're old, it's about form.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That can be said about sex. That can be said about sports, right?
I was going to say basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The golfers, right? Phil
Oh.
Mickelson, I think he's 108 now.
Bowling. Phil Mickelson just won. Oh, well, the time of this recording, he won yesterday.
You know, it's funny you say it because I was doing some tweeting on our account, and I noticed that Norm Macdonald, he like live tweets all the golf stuff.
Oh, okay.
And he was live tweeting Phil Mickelson's his win. And I saw that live yesterday. I saw it on TV.
Just like bowling. I mean, it's all
about form, right?
It's about form. Yeah. I can go out and have a great form, and then the next 2 days later go out and bowl horribly because there's just one little speck of my form that isn't dead on.
Do you think if you wore a French tickler while you were bowling, you'd have?
I do.
You think that would help?
No, I do.
Oh, you do wear it, and does it help?
Yeah, I wear it all day.
Does it lower your handicap?
No, it's making things worse for me.
So take off the sexual accoutrement while you bowl.
I'll try that.
Okay. Oh boy, and welcome to Couch Pilots. I'd say.
Hey, we went straight into combo.
And a what?
Combo?
Yeah. And often is the case, right? Of jumping right into conversation. We have so much to talk about.
Well, most people just listen to the conversation. They skip when we talk about that pilot. They just listen to.
So do I. Yeah, honestly, when I see in my feed that there's a new Couch Pilots, I just skip the whole thing.
You should still download it.
Okay.
Just for the numbers.
Okay. Well, someone I think
you should download the audio to MP3 to show the whole world how you gave Eminem VD.
I think not only is Eminem the greatest rapper of this or any generation, but also someone who's really helped Couch Pilots across these past few years that we've been on is our good tarmac worker, loyal and faithful. His name is Down Syndrome John, otherwise known as DSJ.
Crowd favorite.
Oh, my people! I don't like to use the term clamor a lot, but people clamor for DSJ.
Well, there's been times where we have done episodes and like people are like, "Hey, you haven't talked about DSJ," and like is everything okay? So
is everything okay with DSJ?
Right. We don't want to talk about DSJ every day.
Right, because people may go astray. You know what I mean?
But not today. We're going to talk about some DSJ today.
And it's not like it is content. I don't want to take advantage of the fact that we have his blessing. He knows that we talk about.
We've asked him to be on the show, and he says, "No, I don't want. I don't want any of that."
He knows better,
right?
Yes, DSJ. He's the man down on the runway, down the tarmac area. He's got those golden cones. He's waving us up and waves us right back down when it's time to come down.
We could not get it up, and we could not land without him.
Safety first, then teamwork, right? So he's a man of means. He's a man of several jobs. One of his jobs is taking his duty away from Couch Pilots today. He's out on the road with Get Your Lead Out. It's the Led Zeppelin tribute band of which he is a roadie. Right.
They were just in Peoria not too long ago, and that was the first leg, and he picked up with them, and he's gonna go for 2 or 3 months.
He's been a busy boy. He just got off a vacation from hedonism when he came back with this is the second time he's been married.
Right. And his new bride, he met her at hedonism. Her name is Fook Me.
Hedonism is a resort for people who want to fuck a bunch, right?
Yep. And fuck a bunch of people.
Yeah. And that's apparently exactly what he did. And Fook Me is of Asian descent. We're still kind of figuring out exactly where she's from. I think the needle is landing on Filipino.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw my hat in the Taiwanese ring.
She's got legs, and she knows how to use them.
She also got a long beard like ZZ Top. Nah, just kidding.
That's jealousy talking there.
It is. She's beautiful, and I wish I had an Asian wife of my own.
You could have, but you screwed it up.
I could have. Did I screw it up, though? I hope you're not listening.
I could have, too, and somehow I screwed it up. I don't even know what I did wrong.
We screwed up our Asian bride.
We'll ask Biggie's wife what I did wrong.
Yeah, she'll have the answer to that. So DSJ, he's out on the road, but he turned in a few weeks ago his final draft of his book.
Right, and you've been doing some editing and some corrections and just moving stuff around. Mm-hmm. Where are we at with that?
It's been approved by the editors.
Whoa!
All the corrections have been made.
How about the omissions?
They're still working on a few omissions. We'll see about that. And we have a few working titles right now, too.
Okay.
Have we gotten into that at all?
No, we haven't.
It says one of the titles, It's Hard to Be Up When I'm Downs. And one is Downs on the Upside. And one's is, what's up? What are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I had something in my eye.
That's fine. And one is...
Thank you for being concerned.
Oh, sure. Tarmac, the fabric of our lives, which doesn't really make sense.
No, I don't like that one.
No.
The first two are hot.
Yeah.
What does the editor say? Are they leaning one way or the other? Or?
He likes the first two. He doesn't like the last one.
Right. Good job, editor.
He's a great editor. I failed to mention he's a great editor. So we're getting very close. We've got a release date in mind. Today is it's ending,
26th.
Ending the near end of March. We're eyeballing a May release date. This is fantastic.
Sure.
We know he's been involved with President Trump, President Obama. He's got ties to the Special Olympics.
Right.
He's got ties to this tribute band. He used to
whitewash. He's got stories for days.
And that's what this is. This is an unleashing of all things DSJ.
And the reason why we're bringing this up is, first of all, to keep everybody kind of up to date on what's going on, but also we would love to have any of the listeners submit a book cover, like a design for it.
Yeah.
Using either one of those two titles, because they still haven't decided which one. So any listeners out there that are into graphic design or just you just draw it and send us a picture.
There is going to be a special edition hardback cover of the book where we are going to leave this to the fans. If anyone is a fan of DSJ, and I know there are many out there.
Sure, more fans than fans of us.
Absolutely, sadly enough. If you want to submit your idea for a cover, there will be a special edition, a limited print, a limited run of these books.
And I believe he said he was going to sign those?
Absolutely. He's got his orange crayon, orange, his favorite color.
Of course.
And he's going to sign each of those books, and he'll make them personal, too. It's not just going to be a scribble of his name. He's going to make it personal to those people.
To Debbie, thanks for the love and support.
Yeah. DSJ.
So send those to us at couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com.
Or any of our social media. Go to couchpilotspodcast.com. There's a bunch of different ways to contact us. Send us your artwork, your fan artwork for DSJ's book cover.
And if the winning book, we will give 15 million frequent flyer points.
Holy cow. Sometimes I'll get upset by the amount of frequent flyer points you want to give away. I can't argue this.
And we'll even throw in a signed poster from us.
Oh, boy. Okay, I can't argue with that. This is a big deal for him.
Yeah.
He stands to make a lot of money on this deal. He's already got a certain amount for writing the book itself.
A signing fee.
Exactly, but now we'll see what kind of bonus he gets on the back end. So place your pre-orders now. Go online. Go to Amazon.com. Search DSJ. You'll find the book. You can do a pre-order. It'll be out in May. Get yourself a hardback cover. The hardbacks are always the coolest, right? Don't wait for the paperback to come out.
You can hand it down to your kids. And also, if you buy the pre-sale, it goes towards that first day and gets, we're trying to get him on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah, and I know we talked his name DSJ. It stands for Down syndrome, John. There is 10% of all book sales will go to people living with disabilities.
Sure.
So he is a highly functioning person with Down syndrome, but there are a lot of people who have varying degrees who are not, and these proceeds will go to those people. So these pre-orders help. Your involvement, spreading the word, it all helps. I'm so excited. When he said he was going to write this book, I wasn't sure.
But he says he's always...
He says a lot of stuff, and honestly, by now I should be like, absolutely everything he says come to fruition. But the book just seems like such a tall order, and I tell you what, it's coming to fruition. I'm excited.
You said he cranked out 400 or 500 pages while he was at Hedonism. How did he have the time?
From the Instagram pictures I saw, he was drunk. He was maybe a little high, and he was banging broads.
Wait a minute, a little high.
Oh, hanging high, see? Banging broads 10 at a time for a dime, and still pumping out quality pieces of information and stories about his life.
Amazing.
So big ups to
follow him on
DSJ.
Instagram.
Absolutely. And I gotta tell you, the wife situation, it's odd. I know she's out on tour with him right now, and she doesn't really work. I think she's kind of a groupie for the roadie, is what it seems. I think we got a lot of information and stuff to uncover about this lady. The last lady he married was a stripper. Remember that?
Yes.
From Las Vegas. So
she died in a plane accident, right?
She did. R.I.P. He does not, from my opinion, have the best taste in ladies.
Right. Not like us.
Yeah. You and I have great taste in ladies. You've been married 3 times, and I will confirm bachelor. Yeah, we'll see what the future brings when it comes to DSJ and his new wife. There's a lot of information I think we still need to dig up there.
Yeah. But we didn't have time to spend too much time with Fukmi while they were here because they got here from Hedonism, the limousine, blah blah blah. You've heard that episode. He was here for a couple days, kind of did some maintenance on the plane for us, and
jet setting.
They packed up, and once he I guess he got on one of the buses that the Get the Let Out tour buses when they were here in Peoria. So,
yeah, we didn't get a lot of chance to talk to him. We appreciate all his support, and we support him as well. But I think, us kind of being his fathers in some degree, we have to look out for him.
I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. I will be your preacher, teacher, anything you had in mind.
And we'll close the book right now on DSJ, and there will be so much more, obviously, in the future. But what I'd like to dig into right now a little bit is some more fan feedback.
Fan feedback. I got some. We just got some just as we were pushing play. We got some
red hot fan feedback.
Red hot.
I like it when it's hot to the touch. Like when we get it and I touch it, it's like ooh, ooh, ooh.
Hot like wasabi when I bust rhymes. I'm like Leanne Rhymes because I'm all about values. So Dee Dee today sent me another video, and again, Facebook Messenger said I pushed play and it said something went wrong. Please try again. It didn't work. So, but what it was, and let's just go and see if we can get it to work again. Hold on to the night. No, but what it was is she was in the pouring down rain. And why, you ask? I said, ugh, the video you send never works. She's like, what it was? She said, this is how I listen to Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, she listened to it in the pouring rain.
This is how I listened to Revenge of the Nerds. Soaked to the skin. Jason, she was soaked to the skin. I said, you need to get a roof on that thing. We are calling your boss. This is bullshit. Somebody is listening to our show, working the night shift. Working on the night shift. God damn, we're good.
High five that shit.
Achoo!
Seriously, ask her for the number of the boss. If she will give it to us, we will call. And long distance charges on your phone, of course. Be damned. We will call and say, hey, what can we do to get a little bit of cover?
It's unsafe
for Dee Dee.
I mean, it was pouring down rain, like it was tonight.
I was at work today. It was pouring down rain.
Oh yeah.
Not only was it rain, it was hail coming down. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine hail coming miles from the sky to hit on your skull? No, thank you, sir.
Yeah, and how do you clean? How can you clean up?
No.
She is the fucking Couch Pilots ambassador to Australia. She shouldn't have to work under those conditions. Dee Dee, give us the number. Trust in the fact that we will do right.
Dee Dee, we're on it.
And then just hot off the presses, Dustin from Drunken Lullabies.
Ooh, so hot.
Drunk at the Movies. Ernest Goes to Camp. What's it called?
I'm on a show with him called The Importance of Seeing Ernest. And also Craft Beer Digest.
Yes.
I'm not on that one, but he does do that.
Okay. He says, also, no one from the band Poison is dead. Brett, Cece, Ricky, and Bobby are all still alive. Also, Cece is a fantastic celebrity contestant on VH1's Rock and Roll Jeopardy.
I kind of wish one of them was dead, don't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter who, but it would be nice if one was dead.
Right. And to be honest with you, if you're listening to Couch Pilots
and you're not dead
and expecting factual information, other than the pilots, because that you scour for that,
we take that seriously.
Other than that, we really don't. And finally, we got an Instagram picture from Lori Garcia, and it's a man poking a body. Okay, and it says, when you are in a different time zone to everyone else in the group, wake up, I'm bored.
Not only is she the first lady of a couch, but she's the first lady of disturbing images.
Oh, yeah.
Things that Lori Garcia posts, I have to wonder if there's some sort of PTSD in her.
Something's
her
broke.
life.
Something's broke. But we love her to death.
Absolutely, we love her.
She has mentioned the fact that she wants to come fly to here.
She always says to me, please come to California. And honestly, I've been to California before. It's fine. I would love to go. But you know what? There's so many more people here to embrace her physically.
It's called a gangbang.
So if she were to stay, she'd come here, she'd be welcome with open arms. And obviously, she'd have a place to stay in your house because you have extra bedrooms.
Definitely.
Right?
Oh, I already talked to Molly about it.
And your wife would be cool with it, right?
Oh, she's fine with it.
Wonderful.
It's not like Lori's going to attack me in my sleep.
Dee Dee, thank you so much. Lori
Love you,
Garcia,
Dee Dee.
Lori
Love
Garcia,
you, Lori.
thank you so much.
Love
we
you,
appreciate
Dustin.
the fan feedback. And Dustin, yeah, thank you for dropping us that red hot knowledge about the band Poison. Too bad one of them isn't dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
You want to get it cracking?
Release the Kraken!
I live in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street on the 11th floor. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself and a balanced diet and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, my face is a little puffy. I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now. After I remove the ice pack, I use a deep pore cleanser lotion. In the shower, I use a water-activated gel cleanser and then a honey almond body scrub. And on the face, an exfoliating gel scrub. Then I apply an herb mint facial mask, in which I leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine. I always use an aftershave lotion with little or no alcohol, because alcohol dries your face out and makes you look old. Then moisturizer. Then an anti-aging eye balm, followed by a final moisturizing protective lotion. There is an idea of Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusionary. And although I can hide my cold gaze and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe even you can sense that our lifestyles are probably comparable, I am simply not there. Couch Pilots.
Oh, I thought it was Back to the Future. I thought that was Back to the Future. No?
You have to see that movie.
What movie?
There's 3 movies. Back to the Future 1, Back to the Future 2, and Back to the Future 3. You need to at least see the first one. It is what I would consider a near-perfect film.
Is Michael J. Fox all shaky in it?
They are, but this is what they did. They used computer technology to predict his shakes, and they shook the camera at the same time, so you can't notice
Nice.
it. They shake it in time with his shakes to where it's unnoticeable.
I was told that we're going to be on Drunk at the Movies watching that, so I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm waiting for the invite.
You know what? To me, that's a huge honor. Because
Oh no, it's a super honor. Oh, it's honor for you to be with me, just to pop my Back to the Future cherry. I sound
Yes.
weird.
Something about you sounds weird. No, that because Dustin watches all these kind of cult movies and sometimes these classic films. Back to the Future, arguably one of the most classic films ever, and he has chosen you, someone whose cherry is fully intact with Back to the Future, to watch it with him. And maybe he'll ask me. I hope he does.
Oh, I refuse to do it unless you're on there.
Oh, that's very flattering.
Because I can't be alone with Dustin.
Today,
Because he touches me.
oh, does he? What's his video game situation?
He loves Minor League Baseball.
Today we discussed the pilot episode of Rewind from the year of our Lord 2013. I remember that as a great year.
2013. I can remember that. It's not too far back.
Not too far back at all.
You said what, 2013?
And right now it's 2018, so we're talking probably about 5 years, right? 5 years ago.
38 I was. 38.
Oh, boy, what a great time to be alive. I tell you right now, factually, I was 32.
Okay. So it wasn't that long ago. We don't have to go that far back.
In our minds. But we do have to go back in general so we can properly digest this pilot to convey to our audience that we understand this pilot in the time that it was made.
Right, because it's only 5 years, but a lot of things happen in 5 years.
So many things were invented within 5 years.
Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Shakira. Tequila.
Yeah.
And what's that other thing that was invented? Oh, Purple Passion.
Purple Passion. That's right. The delicious alcoholic drink. Those things didn't exist before.
Hey, when you drink that, what do you get?
You got diabetes. Haven't
Bringing
had
it
that in a while.
old school.
Hell yeah. Here's a good question. Is tequila hot?
No.
Why not?
Huh? Well, I mean,
Hot or not?
not hot. It's just trashy and stupid. Back in my 20s, if you were trashy and stupid, I'd still have sex with you. In my 40s, now that I'm 43, I have standards now.
I am like you in your 20s. Tia Tequila, it has like a sexy body, or at least did. I don't know what it looks like now. Her face is that of an Asian alien, perhaps. That's fine, though. I'm okay with it. I will say, you know what? Given hot or not, I will say hot. But you say not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And like I said, back in her prime,
A Shot of Love with Tila Tequila.
I probably would have, to be honest with you. But now she's just so. Wait a minute.
Couch Pilots, the show that is split on whether or not Tila Tequila is hot.
Would you have sex with Tila Tequila? Let us know. Tweet us tequila yes, tequila no.
Or Tequila Mockingbird, right?
Did she have a baby? Was her pregnant?
Good God. That is upsetting that a baby has to come out of that.
Yeah.
She's going to go on Maury Povich, I tell you right now.
Yeah, because she's going to see this picture of her mom on the internet with panties on it that says insert here.
Good God.
I would have fucked her. I would have.
Okay, well, but that doesn't mean she's hot? Or it does mean she's hot? Are you turning the corner? She's done porno, you know that?
No, I didn't.
Like you can see a penis go into her.
Who beat her up?
Boy, I tell you, I'd beat her up. With the Juggalos? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Insane Clown Posse fans try to kill her at a concert. You know what? They're probably smarter than me.
Why did I know that? God.
I don't know why you know that.
Maybe you should kill me, I tell you what. So, 2013, some things happened this year. The micro video application Vine is released by Twitter and takes social media by storm with short, under 15-second videos dominating the media world. Somewhere, Kevin Clark of the Karaoke Big E podcast ejaculates.
Nice. I was just waiting for you to stop so I could say, Kimbo Slice got a boner.
This is actually one we did before, but that was a joke I had about Kevin's penis that I wanted to say. So I gave that again, because we've done pilots from 2013 before.
Yeah, I liked the Vines, but then I liked them when they first started, but then people learned how to produce them, and then they weren't as cool. You know what I mean?
So you like it when an app is new and fresh and indie.
Right, before people know how to fancy things up. Why do I sound like I'm... Do I sound like I'm in a different room?
You sound like you're in a well or something.
Yeah.
Are you in a well?
Well...
You sound fine to me. I don't know. Why don't you touch your gizmos and gadgets over there and see what happens?
How's this? Ooh.
That's fine.
Hey.
Hey, no.
I like that. Why didn't I do this earlier?
Sometimes I would see like, ooh, this is Vine is going viral. And then I'd watch that. But otherwise, I'm not on Vine.
I was on it for a while. It was pretty cool.
For a while.
Been a while. On Vine, I did do what's Blake eating today. I would do videos and I would eat something every day.
What's the thing you ate that got the most views?
I was eating chicken wings on the toilet.
And you decided to make that available to the internet.
Yeah. No hair, don't care.
Human stem cells are successfully cloned. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal.
Yep.
Stem cells are the cells of life. These are the ones that when you're a fetus and everything is growing and maturing, and they're saying, you know what can heal you? What can take any illness inside of your body and fix it? The answer is stem cells, and now we're cloning them?
Yeah.
Why don't I have this? Why aren't they inventing machines?
Right. Barbra Streisand just cloned her dog into 2 other dogs.
I would love to.
I would love to have fuck you money like that. Podcasting does not make it available to have fuck you money to clone your own dog.
Well, I tell you what, there is money, and there's fuck you money. And then beyond that, there's fuck me money.
And that's what Barbra Streisand's got, fuck me money.
She's got fuck me money for days, my friend. When you can say, I like this animal so much that I will spend the money to clone it. And not once, but twice.
And not even bat an eye.
That's fuck me right in the mouth money. Pope Benedict.
Poke Benedict? He's probably poked some people before.
What is that Roman numeral? The 16th announces his resignation from February 28th, the first pope to resign since the year of our Lord 1415.
Do we have why he resigned?
That's what I'm proposing to you. Why would he resign?
Because I think that's when, at that time in 2013, is when all the kid fucking stuff started coming out.
Do you think so? I feel like it was before that, but you think it was around then?
That's when it started getting hot, because that's when social media, yeah. I think that's what it was, is not necessarily that he was kid touching, but there was so many priests in the Catholic Church kid tussing.
So whenever I get a sore throat, I usually down some kid tussing, right? It soothes the throat and takes the pain away. It allows me to swallow properly.
You know what I meant.
Taint.
Urethra. Yeah, that's why I think. If somebody could fact check, Dustin, fact check that for us.
Dustin, won't you look into Pope Benedict the 16th? But that's it. That's it. My mind is I take it out of my brain and I nestle it safely in 2013, and that's where she will lie for the remainder.
And I'm
of this
glad
program.
we didn't have to go that far back.
Oh, thank God! How old were you? You said you were 30 or 38. I was 32. Well, why did we choose to watch Rewind?
3 simple criteria. 1, it was a pilot that failed. Whether it aired or not is irrelevant, but only one was made. No more, no mas. You like it? Is it good?
The beer?
Yeah.
It's fine. You want to try it?
Yeah, I'll try it.
It's
Do you mind if I touch your lips, or do we get a cup?
I don't care what you do. It's Founder's Dirty Bastard. It's a Scotch style ale.
Just no.
I'm gonna
a
pour.
second. Oh, okay, that's good.
There, you drink up, buddy.
Ugh,
While you're saying that, I will let all the listeners know that.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Number 2.
Oh, you want it?
Yeah, no, I got.
Okay.
I got this.
I thought you were taking a drink.
Number 2 is we had to find it on the interwebs, and number 3 is it had to be free. That's the 3 criteria. We have ever since we started doing this show, since day 1.
Yeah.
Go back if you're a new listener. Go back and listen to our first episode, the pilot. So much stuff started there.
You know, we weren't calling you Philip Ressisher back then. That was a moniker you've taken on as a persona in the sky.
Yeah.
Persona non grata.
Does iTunes still show all the episodes, or
I think so.
okay?
I think you can go back and listen to everything. Where can you find Rewind to watch for yourself? You can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots in Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links. They're right there in our show notes. Or go to YouTube.
And you know what to do, Tube.
Now to the skies.
Ladies
No,
and
we're
gentlemen,
boarding.
The captains have turned
No,
on the
this
fasten
is
seatbelt
takeoff.
sign.
Are we taking off? Did we skip that?
This is why are? Yes. God damn it. Fucking.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Do you want me to read my mailed monologue again?
Next week, I promise to have this charged so that you don't have to do it.
Son of a bitch bastard.
Fuck me, right?
Yeah. You know what? Sorry, the pilot.
I want a T-shirt that says "fuck me, right."
Oh, you'll get it.
It's just all one word. I don't want it to. I just want all one word. It's like it's.
And then you'll get that tattooed backwards on your calf. A team of military field operatives and civilian scientists must use untested technology to travel back in time to alter past events
in
in order to change the future and avoid a devastating terrorist attack. I dig it. That's the summary.
Yeah, that's it. It's a very complex show, and so that's not a complex summary. I will take it. I'll give it a 6.5.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Interesting facts.
Interesting facts. That's what we're gonna give you. Interesting facts. That's what we're gonna give you. Please don't tell anyone your thoughts about these interesting facts.
Originally released 26th of August, 2013. That's summertime, baby.
Summertime.
Summertime.
Will Smith was alive in 2013.
back and unwind.
Was that his breakout hit after he left DJ Jazzy Jeff?
No, I think Jeff was there. I think that's
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he went AWOL after that album and then came back later with like Big Willie style, right? Or Willennium or whatever the fuck it was.
Big Willie.
Boy. So right in the summer, the doldrums of TV viewing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
This is when you see reality shows, you know.
Are we in interesting facts?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have to tread lightly what I say.
Okay, well, you rapped.
But you keep asking me questions, and it gets closer to me giving you
I'm not
my
asking
opinion.
well, okay. This aired on NBC. Well, it's a sci-fi. And NBC owns sci-fi, so it aired on sci-fi.
Okay,
but
thank
is what
you.
it is. You're welcome.
Oh,
Oh, you all right?
yeah.
You gotta watch that bowing.
Bow down to the bow wow.
It was the second attempt in the 2000s to revamp the successful 1960s Irwin Allen
Stop.
series.
Stargate. No?
No. 1960s Irwin Allen series, The Time Tunnel. Allen was the blockbuster TV producer of Lost in Space, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and Land of the Giants. Like the other Time Tunnel reboot, both suffered from being too similar to the already successful and recent Stargate.
There
There it is. There it is. You got it.
Fuck me, right?
No, you're right. That's
I watched 20 minutes of the show and I said, Molly,
what?
fucking
It's
Stargate.
a star. You nailed it. You got it. I had you on the edge of your seat there. You got it. This was directed by Jack Bender, who also directed High School USA.
Oh, wow. That was...
Fact.
Yeah.
That was a fact.
Yeah. That was an interesting show. That had Crispin Glover, right?
It did. No, you're almost commenting on the show, and I'm just,
No, I'm giving you
you're
facts within the fact that Jason, don't fuck me here. You said High School USA, right? Christian Glover was in it. Crispin, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you facts upon facts.
You said something
It's
before
like
that.
it's like a fact sandwich.
Oh boy. You know, I mentioned earlier that when I leave here, I'm going to get something to eat. I might have to stop by Subway and pick up one of those.
A fact sandwich. I can't believe you eat that fucking Taco John's bullshit.
Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I hope Jason got some Twitter responses. It's been a while since anybody got a hold of us on Twitter.
No one respond them. Fuck them forever. Listen to Drunken Lullabies.
Drunken Lullabies. That's what I'm gonna play once I get to it. And lower the volume.
Hey, this is The Voice. I'm here interrupting one of your favorite podcasts to tell you all about mine. If you're a fan of craft beer, independent music, pop culture, and laughing at inappropriate things, then you should check out Drunken Lullabies, brought to you by Distilled Brewery. New episodes are available on draft every Sunday, so you can spend the Sabbath getting tipsy along with us. We try beers, play songs, and laugh our asses off. So go on, indulge yourself, and become a part of Drunkamaniac Nation. And if craft beer and music aren't your thing, you can listen to Drunk at the Movies every Wednesday, brought to you by Iron Spike Brewing Company. Listen to me and my friends provide our own alcohol-fueled commentary tracks to some of our favorite movies, unedited and uncensored. You don't have to be drunk to enjoy these movies, but it doesn't hurt. Until next time, this is The Voice saying, may your music be loud, and may your beers be cold.
Drunken Lullabies, a great podcast. Dustin he's pretty much the podcast maniac right now. He has Drunken Lullabies, Drunk at the Movies. They're both on the same feed. He also has Craft Beer Digest, which he does with White Oak, which is a great brewery. And Jason, I do believe by this time, an episode of the new podcast he has is called...
It's called The Importance of Seeing Ernest, and it's about the character Ernest from like the Ernest Goes to Camp movies.
It was funny because today I was listening to a podcast. Oh, I think I was listening to Mark Maron today. He was interviewing Sharon Stone, so obviously this is a couple of weeks behind, but she said something about Ernest, and I had a part in my hand. I was putting a part together to put it in the robot, and I threw the part. I threw the part.
You were so angry.
No, it wasn't that I was angry. I was just like, it's one of those things like you're like I'm hunting down a new car.
Right.
I'm picking out a new car. You know what? I want this orange Jeep. I've never seen an orange Jeep.
No one's ever seen an orange Jeep ever.
You drive off the lot and you head to your house and
the first thing you see
17 orange Jeeps, and that's where I'm at right now.
That's exactly right. I think Ernest, if you look hard enough, comes up in everyone's life every day, every hour, on the hour. And not if you weren't paying attention, you'd never notice. But now that we're in your head and in your mind. Ernest, you're seeing everywhere. So listen to Drunken Lullabies.
I can't wait to
please.
I cannot wait to listen to the Ernest show. I will get a kick out of it.
It's silliness.
You know what? That's what it's all about. Being silly, right? Having a good time.
Let's be silly.
Let's be silly.
Let's be silly. Oh my goodness. Let's be silly. And you know what? Let's quickly break down the pilot of Rewind, because this is a sci-fi program that is roughly an hour and 16 minutes long, and there's a lot that happens here.
Yeah, this is an intense, a lot of scientific mumbo jumbo, but right off the bat, You see New York City, the skyline.
We've seen it 1,000 times. There's a panning shot, of course, of New York City, and then you see an ambulance and SWAT news reporters, and there's a van,
mass chaos.
Van with a bomb in it.
Yeah, there's a bomb in it, and that's but this is fast. This is a fast beginning, folks. I cannot express to you how fast it is. Pay attention to what the fuck is going on.
They're in the White House Situation Room.
Thank you.
And there's a bomb, they said, placed by this physicist. And there's a bunch of suits and generals and people having conversations about what we're going to do. It's a 9 million people could be affected by this bomb.
9 million people could die.
They throw it up to the clock. They got about 3.5 minutes on the clock, counting down to detonation. The suspect is
he's in custody. We have him already.
He's turned himself in, apparently. He's being beaten to understand how to try to stop this bomb.
Right, because they're trying to get the code from him, so they're beating the shit out of this guy.
And they notice he's wearing a wedding ring, so it's like, whatever information we can glean from this guy, we have to take it, analyze it, and use it to try to find out how to stop this from happening.
So Sean Knox is one of the interrogators.
And not only that, but he's the star of the show.
Very star of the show. He's like, wait. He's married, or he wears a wedding ring, and he pulls it out, and he wants to go in and interrogate the guy.
He's like a young, cocky detective. So yeah, you're right. He takes the ring, he goes into the room, and he takes like a big fire extinguisher with him, and he like beats up the electronics. So he locks himself in the room. Right, because
they wouldn't let him go in there because they were too busy beating the shit. They're like, you know what? We tried to fuck with this guy. We're running out of time. We're gonna beat the fuck out of him to get the code. He's like, and he goes in there. He's the swipe thing, and like I said, he beats it with a fire extinguisher. And you're doing this shit is intense.
You're doing a bunch of cuts between what's going on here, what's going on in Washington, what's going on down on the street where the bomb is, and the bomb squad's down there, sweating, shaking. Yeah. You got little snips. They're trying to cut the wires. Yeah. Things are moving very fast. They go back in the interrogation room. He says, "Your wife has been dead for 37 years." And Mr. Knox, Mr. Knox's ex-lady. She's in New York, his ex-wife or his girlfriend, and she's talking to a guy on the phone. Now, is this Danny?
Yep, okay. Danny is his partner. So Knox is in there. He's like, "Your wife's been dead for 37 years. Why are you still?" And her name is Sylvia. "Why are you still wearing a ring?" And he's like, "Dude, when it's the love of your life." You never forget that.
And so he's locked in this room. Meanwhile, his partner Danny out there, he's a tall, skinny black guy. He's on the phone with Sean Knox's ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend or something. And he says, "Hey, you're not still in the city, are you?" And she's like, "As a matter of fact, I'm."
He's like, "Get the fuck out of there."
There is a nuclear event about to take place there. You have to leave. And she just kind of succumbs to the fact, like, I can't leave. I'm stuck. There's no way I'm going to get out of here in time.
And so the whole time that he's interviewing this suspect, everybody's trying to get into that room.
He's blocked it off. He's locked himself in. So the rest of the precinct is trying to bust in, and they finally do.
Yeah, they finally do, and they got guns drawn. Mm-hmm. They're like, because there's like a couple minutes left, if that, and they put a gun up to his head, and they're like, "Tell us the code. Tell us the code." He grabs the gun while it's still in the guy's hand and blows his own fucking head off.
Yep. But before he does that, he says, "You know what, Sean? You're gonna bring my wife back." And
sorry,
no, that's fine.
Right.
That's a small moment that should be noted. But you're right. End of the credits roll. End of program. I turn to you. How do you rate Rewind?
No, in the next, so he blows his head off after telling Knox, "Hey, only you can fix this." Cuts to the bomb squad. They clip a wire. Whew. Nope.
26 seconds
Still goes.
left. Tick tock tick. Explosion. Cheesy effects.
But before the cheesy effects, like as there's like 30 seconds left to go, they're showing clips of all over New York, faster and faster. People all over New York, faster, faster. Cabs.
You're showing children, people going to work. Yeah, you're showing all around the city. And then yes, the city essentially is.
And the bomb goes off. Shitty graphics and. Rewind.
Boom. Exactly. Rewind. The title screen is put up. And then you find Sean Knox waking up in a cell. The cell is filled with photos and columns. And you're wondering, where is he? Is he in a mental institution?
Yeah, that's where I thought first.
Or is he in
I thought he was in a mental
jail
institution.
or something? And then a visitor approaches, and it's a general.
Yeah, General Lee.
His name is General.
Sorry.
And then, okay, so this is where I first realized his name definitely is Sean Knox, and he must have been put in prison because of his actions at the police station.
Right, because I think it's a military prison.
Because I think so, probably.
I didn't realize it until about this time is that he was in the military. He wasn't a cop. It was some kind of military, thing. So yeah, the general comes in and says, this isn't your fault. You got to meet with the grand jury next week to see if you're going to die or not. And he's like, he starts freaking out. He's like, he killed. It was my fault that all these 9 million people died.
Yeah, he blames himself for all this. 9 million people, including his ex. And they say, you know what? No, Benjamin Work, this physicist, he's the guy who's the problem. It wasn't you. He says, you know what? I'm the general, Sean Knox. I'm going to give you a 48-hour furlough, and I want to bring you in on something that's happening.
It's your second opportunity.
Yep.
This is an opportunity to change everything.
So, I mean, Sean, what does Sean have left? To wait for a decision that could possibly result in his execution? Or they go to an underground bunker with a black fella, which I didn't realize was his partner at first, but that's
Danny.
So, but this is my whole problem with the whole show. Is like, why did they pick those two guys out of everyone to do this?
Well, they were there when the investigation went. Oh, okay.
But don't you want well-trained, highly organized people to do it? Like,
But these guys were in the military.
Okay.
That's what was confusing at first. They weren't just cops. They weren't just detectives. They were in the military. They were military.
I didn't pick that up.
Till when? The whole time?
At all. So
did you pay attention to the fucking show?
I was asleep. No, I trust that what you're saying is true, but I didn't realize that those guys were both military.
No, they were both military guys. So the general sends them down to this bunker where there's millions of people. It seems like millions of people.
There's a lot of folk down there.
They're all just walking around.
He takes it. Yeah, everyone's it's extras moving.
Right.
He leads them to some sort of magic space room, right?
Right. Yeah, and there's a window, quote unquote, a window, and it's a magic space room. And right now they're looking at it, and it's 1934.
It's a window to the past.
Because you know what? We need this window to do this show.
It would be. I mean, like, I think we already do a pretty good job of digesting this in the time it was made, but we could do even better by going back in time. Hello, Dr. Bryce. You're a tight ass, and you're milk boning out.
I am super stoked about her. But this is where it starts to. There's a bunch of scientific mumbo jumbo. They're explaining. Basically, they have a time travel machine, and they need to save New York.
Every X amount of hours or days, this window automatically changes. And when it opens up, they try to understand exactly when and where this window is. So they have a guy, his name is Ellis. He's played by the actor Jeff Fahey. Probably most notably in my mind, you'd recognize him from the Lawnmower Man movies, which were terrible. But he is like their tech guy, their communication, high-tech, super cool, futuristic inventions. And what he does when a window is open, he takes these teeny tiny little probes about the size of a mosquito, and he sends them through the portal. And whatever goes through the portal, apparently it doesn't get destroyed because he sends the flying little drone through there, and he can find out by looking at newspapers or monuments, whatever he can, to find out what time and what place they are in history. So the windows, we find out, they cannot control what time and when the windows will open. It happens automatically for reasons we don't know. And but this is where I first start to wonder, why did they select Sean to do this? And apparently, Blake, you think that it's because he was ex-military, both him and Daniel were. But what they say is no one's ready to go into this thing yet. They're unaware of the side effects, and the current world state is collapsing around them. So even though this device isn't ready, they need to send those people in ASAP.
Right.
ASMAT.
ASMAT,
that's right.
That's what ASAP stands for.
ASMAT?
ASMAT.
So it sounds like the three of them are heading in. It's Lindsay, Sean, and Black.
Danny. His name's Danny.
Danny, I'm sorry. And this is where they meet Jeff Fahey, and he's working on a way to bring people back, right?
Right.
Is that wrong?
No, I went to the bathroom, so I'm trying to catch up to where you're at.
So then they go to the history room. They're kind of getting a little crash course of an investigation, and I assume this room is basically a room where they take times and places and try to acclimate the people who potentially could go in there to be ready to engage in that time.
Right. And there's this girl with a lot of energy, and she's in charge of it, and they got stuff from the Smithsonian and everything. So they have everything at the ready, no matter what year it is. They have clothes, artifacts, stuff for those time periods.
Sean keeps following around Lindsay, who is the smoking hot Dr. Brace, and they have kind of a heated discussion.
And it's through all through this whole place.
Yeah.
They're walking the whole time. It's one of those things where it's kind of like hospital shows. There's a doctor, and
they're walking the halls.
They're walking the halls, and they're having a confrontation the whole
West
time.
Wing is kind of the same thing there.
Okay.
What was that guy's name who wrote the West? Aaron Sorkin. He was kind of known for that. So then, while they're having this discussion,
Bloop, 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 bloop.
something
bloop,
is going
bloop.
on. The building is shaking.
Yeah.
And,
Why is the building shaking?
I don't know.
It's just alarms going off. All the electricity goes on and off, and it's because the window is changing. It's going to go to a different time period.
So then it shows them after Ellis sends the drone I was talking about through the porthole.
Those, did you tell them how much those drones are a piece?
Hit me.
$200,000 in taxpayer money for a little itty bitty drone.
And they find out that the window is currently showing 1920s Washington D.C. and the window will close in 17 hours. So they're talking about killing Benjamin Rourke, his father, since they can't control the time.
Sure.
If they
don't know.
They can control the time, they go back right before it happened and stop him from doing
Sure.
that, but they can't. So they have to work within the time that the window allows and see what series of events will stop what will happen. So they say, who's this man's father? It's Benjamin Rourke's father. If we kill him, we could potentially stop the effects of New York City being devastated.
Right, and I apologize, but did you discuss the ripple?
No. The next thing we see is a machine they call the Panopticon.
Thank you.
And they can see actions in the past and how they cause ripples in the future, which to me is just a roll of the dice. Really, they take it on faith, but the truth is they have no idea.
But the Panopticon, they have algorithms that decide it. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. So they come to find out that they can't kill his father because the guy who made the bomb that blew everything up, that shot himself in the head,
Benjamin Rourke.
Ben was a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and if they kill his father, he'll never be born. He won't win the Nobel Peace Prize, and for some reason, China will just have a lot of litter in it.
Yeah, they say they run a scenario in the Panopticon where Tokyo.
Panopticon, that's a cool word.
It's kind of said like very Transformers-esque. They say go to Tokyo and see a scenario in which Rourke doesn't exist, and it's not good. So they say, okay, we can't kill the father. We have to find another way to go about this. So to me, again, this is where it puts a fine point on the fact that the Panopticon is a ridiculous machine. It's a necessary evil for the pilot, but it's silliness and quite a stretch, if you ask me.
Okay.
Sylvia Rourke, they need to learn more about her. This is Benjamin's wife who was murdered.
Right, because Knox remembers his conversation with Ben and the interrogation thing about his wife. He's like, his wife, that's it. We need to find, because she died 37 years ago. We need to find out when he knew when she died. He remembered
how she died, why she died.
because he'd been investigating all that stuff while he was in the government prison.
We throw it in the Panopticon. What would happen if she did not die? And the truth of the matter is, New York would be saved.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have gone crazy. He wouldn't have lost the love of his life, and he wouldn't have blown everything up.
While they're figuring this out, Sean's partner Danny is talking to Ellis, again played by Jeff Fahey, the techno guy, about his communication through the time window. So he's working on a way that if you send someone in and they successfully make it through the other side,
You can talk to them.
They can communicate.
And it's a little itty
through
bitty.
time.
It's a little itty bitty thing that
you
you
just
put
stick
in
in
your
your
ear.
ear. Yep. So,
Stick it in the ear, right?
That's right. Ellis can evaporate any of his inventions to eliminate the threat of other times finding
Because
future
it'll
technology.
cause a ripple.
Absolutely. Anything left
The
behind.
ripple. The ripple.
Ripple.
The ripple. The ripple.
Ripple. Knox confronts the general about Rourke knowing about the time windows, and Rourke destroyed New York City on purpose so someone would save his wife.
Right.
Essentially, he killed all these people just so somehow he knew this technology existed, and he says, I want you to utilize this technology to go back and save my wife, and ultimately you will save New York City.
Yeah, and this is explained later on because he knew about it.
Mm-hmm. The base is where the window is, this underground bunker, and for some reason it's protected from time changes because of some sort of hot bullshit.
Are you meaning in the fact that when people leave that building, they don't remember they were in that building? Is that
No.
what you're talking about?
No, I
Or
think
am I ahead?
if you were within some sort of bizarre cocoon of that building or some sort of sphere around it, what any of these weird time changes and the shifting and the futures and the past, you are not affected by that. So you will essentially, I assume, remember both different scenarios, or maybe just remember the original scenario. I don't
Right.
know. It's very bizarre. When you start dipping into time travel like this, there are things that are unexplainable, and you just kind of have to like submit to
Sure.
yes, this is what will
Right.
happen. So anyway, they find out that Sylvia Rourke, Benjamin's wife, is shot and killed in some sort of mugging
Right.
in the mid 70s.
And so they trace it back up to the guy who killed her, trace it all the way back to 1929, which is where the window is open. The guy was it was the lookout at a robbery. This is our chance.
Yep.
Shoot this guy. His wife never dies. He never goes crazy. 9 million people are saved.
The man who killed Sylvia
Bada
was,
bing, bada
was
boom.
65.
Play that.
Play
exit music.
That beautiful bean footage. His name is Robert Marsden, and he killed Sylvia at his age 65. So way back when this window's open, he is alive.
Yeah,
then.
so they figure this out. They're like, you know what? Let's do this. We're going in. So Danny, Knox, and Dr. Princess, it's Dr. Bryce.
Dr. Bryce.
I made a funny. But anyway, they're like, you know what? We're going in. And so they get all dressed up like they're from 1929.
Yep, they get in their period garb.
Well, not the bloody period, like the period of time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, like another
just
period.
Clarify. So it comes to find out, it's like, okay, well, this is only open for 17 hours. If something goes wrong and you don't get back in, you can't stay there because you would cause a ripple. What are you going to do? And she's like, I got these 3 pills. We'll kill ourselves.
They can't leave
That's
themselves.
pretty fucking crazy.
They cannot leave themselves behind, essentially, because
That's crazy.
If you add 3 extra humans into the mix that weren't supposed to be there, who knows who they could interact with or things they could change? They'd have to sit in a room all by themselves until they died, not to affect anything.
Right.
You
So
know?
just die.
So they
just kill themselves.
Yeah. So every mission is potentially a suicide mission when you're talking about this, albeit the poison pills. Anyway, so they all go together, and I thought this is something I thought was weird. If no one has ever gone through the portal, why don't you just have one person go first to see if they live? If it didn't work, you're sending 3 people to their immediate deaths.
Well, I think it's a situation where you don't want to leave one person by themselves. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I mean you could go one in, and then you got
Because originally that's what they wanted to do. They wanted the doctor to go first because she invented the whole thing.
and she should have gone by herself.
Nope, they locked arms and they.
Well, they
stepped
should
in.
have, right?
No, yeah.
Because they go through the other side, and then you use the communicator.
But who
that
goes
Ellison-
first? The black guy?
No,
That's what I would have said. The doctor. No, and I'm not being racist. The doctor knows all about
she's
this.
too important.
She's too important.
Yeah.
Knox is the main character. Send that black guy first.
You send them through. You got the communicator in the ear.
Does that sound racist?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No, when you get to the other side, you say, "Hey, I'm a black guy. I made it through. Can you hear me?" And they say, "Yeah, you can hear it." All right, then send the other guys through. Why sacrifice a potential 3 people when you can do it one at a time? Anyway,
Good call.
they go through some weird black and white acid trip, and then they come out the other side.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's a very intense.
They get back. They get to the other side, and they're in the basement of some sort of like hotel or jazz club.
Yeah, which
and,
is what they saw. They
They can see it through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when they go through, Danny is like on the floor orgasming or something.
I
It's very
think
bizarre.
it's called a seizure, Jason.
Oh, oops. Well, I've never had a seizure, so
You never had a seizure?
is that a common thing? Have you had a seizure?
Yeah,
When have you had a seizure?
when I was younger.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, my brother has seizures
Okay.
semi regularly.
Right.
Describe to me what a seizure is.
Describe to you what a seizure is.
No, from the
I never had a
You
seizure.
fucker.
I thought we were going somewhere, and then you said your brother does. I was like, oh, I'm a
you
fucking
You
asshole.
motherfucker.
I love your brother. He's a good guy.
You haven't met this one. Oh no, you've met them both, I guess. I think you bought weed off of one of them.
What?
No, just kidding.
Now we're both telling lies.
So they're communicating they're communicating very well through time. So
Sure.
the thing that Ellis created is working.
Right.
They're able to talk to the present back to 1929, and like I said, they appear to be like a jazz club or a hotel or something. Then they head outside and they take it all in, and they're like, "Ooh, the past."
Yeah,
Wow.
even the airs taste different, you know, and everything. And they can't interact with anybody because that will cause a ripple.
They said,
All right.
we got to go to this robbery. And I think the plan is kind of, let's kill this guy.
Right.
And
The Pentagon says, kill that motherfucker.
so we have to get there. So they steal a car, but Lindsay thinks it will cause a ripple. So they run a check on the plates to confirm. Somehow, they know all the information about the past owners of these vehicles, something I doubt we could even do today.
No, Jason, we can do it today.
No way.
No, I'm serious. There are things that you don't even know about in the government that at the drop of a dime, they can find this shit out.
How do you know that?
Huh?
How do you know that? Tell me. Oh, what do you know? Tell me what you know.
I listen to Conspiracy Theories podcasts.
Danny and Lindsay turn off their communicators and have a conversation
Yeah.
about an event in the past that took place in Danny's life. Well, I don't know that this really means anything.
It's pretty unnecessary. Well, they couldn't just go through the window without a problem, right? So Knox goes through and Bryce goes through without a problem.
Yeah.
Danny's down there having.
He's having a seizure like you've had when you were younger, you said, right? You're very honest and forthcoming about the seizures you've had as a child.
And so, but while he was doing that, he's like, thank you, Tommy, or something to do with Tommy. And so they both turn off the communicators, and Danny explains that when he was 5 years old, he was almost drowned, and a guy named Tommy saved his life. And as he was going through the porthole, he relived that whole thing.
This speaks to the fact that they don't know the full effects
Oh, no.
of what this window can do.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be scary.
So
There would not be confrontation. There wouldn't be problems. There wouldn't be concerns if one of those three didn't have some kind of fucked up thing happen.
While this specific event didn't really matter much going forward in this one episode, it could have ramifications if the series were to continue.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so this is something pulled out of Danny's mind to make him virtually relive in just a matter of microseconds while he's laying on the floor, awakening from his time travel. Anyway, they successfully hotwire a car, and Danny says, "I'm going to be the driver because I'm a Negro gentleman.
Right,
and
we're-
back in time here, you got to have a
And
black
that makes
guy
sense.
drive."
That is attention
Makes
to
sense.
detail. It is
Totally makes
attention to
sense.
detail.
Meanwhile, you see in the bottom corner of the screen that Heroes of Cosplay is all new 10/9 Central on Sci-Fi.
That's funny.
So this is on Sci-Fi.
So all of a sudden, Ellis, he's would you say his name was?
Ellis is the techno guy back at the, yeah.
And he goes, that's not good. Supposedly the red zone is fluctuating and the levels are changing. So
The window is going to close sooner
they
than
had
later.
17 hours. Now all of a sudden, they have 3.
The general in charge makes the decision to tell the time travelers and everyone should get comfortable with the fact that they might not be coming back because they say, you know what, the mission that they are on, that's more important on whether or not they come back.
No, the Pentagon general says we're not going to tell them.
Oh yeah, we're not telling.
Okay,
you.
okay. It made it sound like you.
I'm sorry if I said it incorrectly.
That's fine.
They said
It's
we're
very
not-
important.
We need them to focus on their mission and to do
Thank
it
you.
quickly and efficiently, but we cannot tell them because they might freak out and run back.
So they they go and they drive around, they get lost, and then they find this robbery happened. But they're late because they got lost.
I will say, I know you intentionally skipped over this, but they do cause a car accident while they are
Okay.
lost, and the car accident appears to be a bootlegger.
So it's a ripple.
It's potentially a ripple, but not necessarily because the guy who got in a car wreck, he was running booze in a time of prohibition. So it's not like the guy could go to the police and cause a series of events. The guy was fucked because he was doing something illegal.
So he's not going to say nothing.
Right.
See something, nothing. Say something, nothing.
So, the police show up at the robbery where the Robert Marsden character is, who kills Sylvia in the future, and they got to stop it. So the three of them are too late, but Knox goes in anyway, right? So they got the police kind of having a shootout with this robbery, and Knox is like, we have to do something. I've got to stop this event. So a gun battle between the robbers and the police ensues, and you get one robber down, one gets away. The police chase the one that gets away, and Marsden, the lookout for the situation, just a young man at the time, he's left behind.
Right. And so this is where Ellis goes, I got to tell him.
Yeah, time's running out.
Yeah, time's running out. I got to tell him. So he says, hey, you guys, we don't have near as much time. This is what's happening. Just come back. Just come back.
The three of them are there together, and Knox, here's what he's saying, is, you know what, forget it, I've got to chase down Marsden. The guilt of New York City and his ex-girlfriend weighing so down on him, he's like, you know what, It doesn't. My life doesn't matter. I've got to fix this. So he goes after Marsden, and everyone, the other two, agree to stay there until the mission is complete before they head back to that window before it closes.
So they go and they track down Ronnie, and he's basically in a little. He's got a little shack. He's got a little shack next to the railroad tracks, which is back then. That's kind of stuff that happened.
This is a small town. A bunch of little brick buildings on a main street, and then where we are now is a rail yard with tiny little shacks and warehouses and cars. This is the scene that we're setting.
He's snuck back to there, and come to find out, he lives with his sister, who's a young, very very young girl
8,
with a
9?
Yeah, and you can't just go shoot him in front of his sister.
Yeah, these guys, even though they're in the military, they're not heartless. They don't want to cause this little girl potential harm by killing her.
Because they're worried about the ripple.
Yeah.
Come to find out, she dies in 2 years anyway of tuberculosis, R.I.P.
Because he continues a life of crime and goes to jail. And
Sure.
when she's left on her own, she will pass away.
Right, so they're like, the guy from the Pentagon's like, she's going to fucking die in 2 years anyway, just blow the motherfucker up.
Yeah. Her dying leaves no ripple. You're good to go.
And so they're talking about, they're like, there's any potential for a ripple we cannot have. So
But that's not good enough for Knox.
Right, Knox goes, you don't want a ripple? Okay, so he goes face to face with Ronnie and basically talks to him and like it screams and chokes on him and is like, I'm like the ghost from the past or the future.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you got to change your fucking life or your sister's going to die in 2 years, blah, blah, blah.
He tells him things that only he would know. And he's like, how do you know this about me?
He basically scares him straight.
He
Scares
absolutely
straight.
does.
What, can you name the 2 stars of that movie, Scared Straight?
You've got LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, right?
No.
And then you've got Big Bad, the Great Khali.
No. Let's try it again. Richard Pryor and Willy Wonka.
Oh, that film. What was that guy's name? Willy Wonka.
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Very
God
good.
Damn you. I thought you would pick up on that. We'd have this thing. I should have said, I have seizures.
Well, Knox grabs him when he's struggling. Grabs Marsden and throws both of them down on the train tracks. Says, "You know what? We'll both die. It's fine." And you're right. He pretty much scares him on the righteous path. And it seems like, honestly, this seems like a pretty big gamble. Like, nothing about this to me says this will necessarily work 100%. If you kill the guy, he can't go on to kill Sylvia. Sylvia might die in another way, maybe in a way that doesn't cause Ben Rourke to want to destroy New York City. But just on the off chance that you scare a man straight, that seems like a pretty big fucking gamble to put 9 million people on. Yeah.
But if you shoot him, then his sister...
She's gonna die anyway, though.
Okay.
So,
right.
But it's a huge gamble that pays off in both the sister and Marsden living as well as Sylvia.
But they only have 40 minutes to get the car back, and
Yeah.
get back to the porthole.
Yep, and I just want to make sure everyone tunes into the 1,000,000-second quiz with Ryan Seacrest.
Ugh.
Did you see that?
There's only one person worse than Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, who's that? Brian Gunkelman?
Nerdist.
Oh, jeez, you love him.
You'd be proud of me. I unscribed at the end of the year. I don't even know who's head on.
Well, it looks like what they did worked because in the future they can now run they see what's happening in real time. I guess
Because they use the program,
And
the
then
panopticon.
I don't think they did they? Because
Yeah,
they were living in the future that was changed by the past. So all they had to do was turn on like a TV.
No. They got with the guy and said, "Hey, we scared him. Check the panopticon." He's like, "Yeah." He becomes a war hero. So Ronnie, that conversation, the conversation that they have, the scaring him with the train.
And I'm not being an asshole when I say this. I genuinely want to know what you think about this. If they change the past, the people in the future are living in the future that the past changed. So it's not they may have used the panopticon, but they wouldn't need to because they're living in the future that they changed. The future that they're living in has been altered by what they've done in the past. So would they need to look at the panopticon?
Yes.
Why?
Because
couldn't they just look outside a window and say, "Oh, there's New York City there. It's just fine."
No, they have to use the panopticon
Why?
for continuity.
All right. Anyway, Present day comes up. They say, hey, you know what? You're not going to make it back in time, but there's a route. Do you remember earlier when you caused a wreck with a bootlegger? These bootleggers are running secret routes. There's a better, quicker route back to D.C.
That only seems to take 8 minutes to get there.
The time flies. This
is where the writers have fucked themselves.
That's right. I said now there's only minutes left. They park the car back in New York or Washington D.C.
With 8 minutes,
There's 35 seconds
to
left.
go,
and they go into the building, down to the basement. 10 seconds left. Boom.
They jump in the window.
They're back. Somehow they're back.
And you know what? Everything is saved. They see they use the program. New York is back to normal. Everything is fine. All the bunker employees are drinking beer and having champagne and having a great time.
This is really
everything
funny.
is great. The show's over.
No. This is something funny you said here. Danny, the black fella, says, "Hey, I won't be doing that again." But if the series continued, that's exactly what he'd be doing every week.
You would have to.
Every single fucking week he'd be doing it. Anyway, they all watched the live footage of New York. The city is completely intact. They're all welcome back as heroes, and you're right. They're all just hanging around having beers, celebrating the fact that they've saved $9 million.
And while they're having this party, Knox is talking to the Pentagon general guy, and right here I get a bad feeling, like in my stomach. I was like, this Pentagon guy is still acting fucking creepy for some reason.
He acted weird before, but I kept waiting for him to like do something deceitful. It never came.
No,
but the black guy almost seemingly hits on the general here. I think he might be a gay guy.
Dude, it seems super gay because they like set up a date.
He's like
no, I completely agree with you. This gets a gay bump because I seriously think those guys were about ready to get it on.
And the general's like, blah, 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 tell me about your fucking shit. And he's like, hey, the black guy says, hey, why don't you buy me a cup of coffee sometimes? He's like, whoa, what's going on here?
If you watch this pilot and you get to this part and you don't think there's homosexual tendencies to it,
you better check yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
The general sits, for some reason, in front of the new window because like we said, every couple
17
days,
hours,
X
whatever,
amount of hours,
because something to do with
the window changes. Yeah. And so the general that was hanging out with him the whole time that made the decision earlier, you know what, we're down from 17 to 3 hours. Don't tell them. That same general is now sitting in front of the new window.
He's smoking he lights up a cigar, which they told him not to smoke around it.
And you've got the camera doing weird things and the music doing weird things that for you to think, and rightfully so, something sinister is taking place.
He puts on a big like military coat with like the furry like lining and stuff.
Yep.
He gets a gun, cocks it. He cocks this gun.
And while this is happening, they're intersplicing it. Again, this is how this pilot is shot. Back up top, when the bunker knocks, the star of the show, Sean Knox, he's calling his ex. And she answers. And she's saying, you know what? We just talked a little bit ago. Maybe we'll have dinner. That's fine, whatever. And he's having a conversation with her. He's so happy that she's still alive. He saved her life with this detonation not happening. And all of a sudden, she's not responding to him on the phone.
Right, and he looks outside.
Yep.
It's all gray.
It goes from light to dark. The general is down there with the gun and his coat that he got out of some sort of weird steel briefcase, and he goes into the porthole.
And the porthole is like all you see is snow, like big snow banks.
And my question is, how did the general know what was going to happen next? Why was he prepared for that?
Yep.
I don't know. Anyway, Dr. Lindsay Bryce sees there's activity in the window that the general is generating, and she kind of freaks out and is wondering, like, what the hell's happening? What's going on? Sean Knox, his ex, stops answering him on the phone, and again, yes, the outside goes black. The end. Oh, my God.
They show the Pentagon general kind of jump into the window.
Yeah.
Then it cuts it right off.
Jumps into the window, jumps into turbulence.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Hour and 15 minutes. I know this isn't your cup of tea, but honestly, I think if you get a good pilot, I think you're in it. I think you're in for the ride. Like, what was one of the Where Have All the People Gone from the 1970s, the post-apocalyptic viral event.
Yeah, where they were, yeah, I remember
that. That was a long one, but you enjoyed it.
It was good. It was good.
Did you give that a 7? You gave it like a 6 or a 7.
I gave it a pretty high. I don't like spy-fi.
Why didn't Rewind work?
one of the first things I'm thinking is star power. You had mentioned the actor that played Ellis.
He's the far and away the most notable, and honestly, throughout his entire career, was a B-list actor. His name is Jeff Fahey. While you were in the restroom, I mentioned that he starred in the Lawnmower Man films, which were kind of shit.
Sure. Why didn't this work? We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Right? We've been watching these pods for a long time.
Yeah.
We know why they fail.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go a different time period every episode. Getting the time period is expensive. Time period is super expensive because you got to have, just like this one, there was a bunch of cars from the 20s. That's expensive to do over and over each week.
When I'm creating the template for the show Couch Pilots, there's a tab that says Turbulence. There are 3 questions. It says, why didn't the show work? What we do to improve it? Where we'd like to see it go if it survived. Underneath, why didn't it work? I never write any of these things. These are all things I think about when I pull it up. The only thing I have written in here is the word expensive. You're exactly right. This is not cheap. High five it. Think about all those old cars.
Right.
Even if you want to do CGI, that shit ain't cheap either.
Right.
Right? This is an expensive venture going forward.
Yeah, because you're going to have to do it every episode. You're going to have to go sometime. You're not going to be able to use those cars again.
No.
You're going to have to go to the 60s and do a bunch of hippie Volkswagen buses.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is an expensive venture going forward. There's so many different time frames, so many different parts of the world. It's never the same, right? So you always have to have this period garb, these different vehicles,
And these sets that have all this computer and stuff. Mm-hmm. I know that none of it's just lights and stuff, but still, it's hard to maintain that.
Yeah. So what would you do to improve Rewind?
I think there's a star power issue.
Yeah.
So I would bring in another big name.
Okay.
Maybe to play Knox.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you could take a look at some of the main cast and replace them with someone else, who would you put in there?
Replace them with someone else.
Yeah. You mentioned Knox. Maybe you already had someone in mind. If you took Sean Knox out of there, I can't remember that guy's name. I definitely did tweet him. And you plug someone else in there.
Oh, just from the real world?
Yeah. No, well, like
or from the
an actor.
same...
For that star power you're talking about. Who would you replace him with?
I can't do Kurt Russell because he was in Stargate. I don't know. I don't know names of actors, but someone on the cusp of TV fame.
John Heater, Napoleon Dynamite himself.
There's a big window. God,
I want to go back in time. Ja!
Star power. I mean, I didn't even recognize the guy that played Alice. So anybody that has any kind of frequency on television in 2013, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's not even B-level actors at this point. It's like C-level actors that you have in like a sci-fi original, which this would have been. Because again, NBC owned this, but NBC owns sci-fi. So if this is going to be a sci-fi venture, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad, but you might suffer from a lack of star power. If this had continued, I think week after week, you're going to have windows opening to things and stuff that they're going to try to correct from the past.
Without causing the ripple, blah, blah, blah.
This is essentially the new version of Quantum Leap or like the new version of Sliders. Did you ever watch Sliders?
No. I watched Quantum Leap, though.
I like Quantum Leap. That was a fun show.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You got to go through time and pop into different people's bodies and right wrongs.
In time.
And then Sliders was a group of like usually 4 people who would jump into like a porthole, and they were hoping to get home, but they'd be put in a parallel universe of the same time of their home. So
what was the show that we watched that they kept? It was that wasn't a cartoon, but they kept going from porthole, like door to door.
Well, yeah,
it wasn't Care Bears, or it was something like that.
You have to give me. It was a cartoon.
I think so.
You got to give me some more information.
And they would go from like door to door. It was like elves or something. We watched. God.
Oh no, that was with Dustin. It was Flippy Dogs.
Yeah, Flippy Dogs.
Gotta watch them Flippy Dogs.
Thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if this went forward, you're just talking about a handful of people, and in different configurations. If they're always going back to their home base, you can get any number of different types of people to jump in, and you might lose a person here or there, or things might not go exactly right. But this is about righting wrongs of the past, or maybe even the future.
The future.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
This is going to blow your mind. What is the review? What is IMDb, InternetMovieDatabase.com? They say, hey, we know all about every single movie and every single TV show, and there are ratings associated with those. What is the rating for Rewind?
6.5.
It is a 6.3.
Woo! Damn! I was hot!
And that's not even what's going to blow your mind. This is from 1,267 ratings. People saw Rewind. People have feelings associated with Rewind, so much so that we look at the viewer reviews. 8 out of 10 scars. Good show, good science, good action. I think the general public would accept this show as an action drama. 7 out of 10 scars. Not bad at all. 6 out of 10 scars. Great prospect for a new series. 9 out of 10 scars. Sucker for the time travel stories. 8 out of 10 scars. Decent pilot. Wish we could have seen more. 6 out of 10. Unlimited potential, but contained amateur dramatization. 8 out of 10 scars. Had a handful, had bags of potential, but the show was sadly never picked up. 8 out of 10 scars.
Wow.
A good movie that would make a great TV series.
It's hot. This is hot right now.
10 out of 10. I want more of this.
Wow.
A 6 out of 10. How this show could have been picked up. People are clamoring for a high-quality sci-fi program. Rewind very well could have been it. Unfortunately, it was not, and we are left to our own devices.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to...
I'm sorry to steamroll that last segment.
Local time is 11:11, and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelts.
I steamrolled it so hard that I am completely exhausted, and will have to allow you to describe our scoring system.
It felt good. It was good. Our scoring system, 7 being the best, 1 being the worst. We took our scoring system via the characters from the great and almighty television show Wings. 1 is a Roy Biggins. He's a fat fuck and disgusting. He's the worst possible score you could get.
I gotta tell you right now, if David Schramm, the actor who played Roy Biggins, was standing right in front of me right now, I'd punch him right in his goddamn teeth.
I was going to punch him in the dick.
I'll get the teeth, you get the dick.
You know what? I've heard that before in a lot of threesomes I've had. Hashtag Dave Rowan.
Oh, no.
7 being the best, Brian Hackett. He was the star of the show, in my opinion, but not in your opinion.
It was an ensemble cast, but the coolest of the cool was Brian Hackett.
So we're going to go ahead and give you our scores based off of that scoring system.
That's right.
Because otherwise, there would be no point to doing the show.
Yeah, why would we cut it off at
blah,
viewer
blah,
critics?
blah, yakety schmackety.
Doesn't make any sense.
Until we get to our ratings.
Yeah.
Jason?
Yeah.
Do you want to give yours first, or do you want me to give mine first?
I definitely do want to go first.
Oh.
Rewind. 2013 Sci-Fi Channel. Cheesy effects are to be expected. The acting wasn't terrible. There was a lot of action. There was a good pace to it. I'm going to give this a 5. I enjoyed it. I can see it going forward. I think there's plenty of opportunity for more storylines. The only thing that is the problem is that in shows like Sliders, you are dealing with different timelines. There are different dimensions. So one dimension isn't going to affect another dimension. All right? Quantum Leap. That has potential for ripples going forward. Time travel is a sticky wicket because when you're talking about changing something in the past, absolutely there'll be ramifications in the future, and that is almost impossible to quantify. So there are problems logically with this show, but it is fun, and you're able to toy with time and see cool eras and see how these people interact with them. So while I can see it going forward, it's definitely not perfect, but it was fun. I'm going to give it a 5. Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate Rewind?
Before I give you mine, I'm going to give you the Stewardess Malls because she watched this with me.
Stewardess Malls, yes.
Stewardess
what does she
Malls,
have to say?
she loves the sci-fi.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, she loves the sci-fi.
Is Molly like a secret nerd or something?
I think she tries to be.
I'm sorry to say this, and I'm sorry if it offends you, but your wife just keeps getting hotter and hotter to me.
Hey,
I don't know what it is.
Take her
man.
out to dinner for Chinese food.
You bet I will.
I'm gonna give you a little bit. So Molly's rating. I'm not gonna give her any explanation.
Was any explanation given to you?
I was watching her reactions at the end of this program. She jumped up out of the couch, and she said, "A 7."
What?
She loves that kind of stuff. The cliffhanger blew her fucking mind. She gave it a 7.
It was a big cliffhanger.
It was a huge cliffhanger. And I'm going to go ahead and go through my notes to you real quick.
Oh, please, yes.
Before I give you my rating.
Yes, yes.
First off, I really do not like sci-fi. Okay? We know that, right?
One major strike against the show.
And I put, that's why it's not a 7. It's too expensive. We talked about that.
That counts against your score? Is it being too expensive?
Great pacing. Their pacing was very good. There was no lulls.
There's never a time where I was bored.
The acting was good all around. Pretty average. I mean, it was consistent. In my opinion, they handled the butterfly ripple effect issue pretty well. They did concentrate on it. They didn't just pull stuff out of there.
For a man who doesn't like sci-fi, I feel like this is adding up to a good score.
The best cliffhanger of any failed pilot we've ever seen. I'm going to give this a 6.
Oh, you fucking me. I'm fucking you.
Molly gave it a 7. I gave it a
shit.
So our combined score is a 6.5.
Wow. You really are jerking my gherkin there. Telling me it was a 7.
I liked it. It was good. Had
It was
a good time.
good, right?
It didn't seem like an hour and 15 minutes. I don't like sci-fi. It usually bores me. Had a good time.
I watched this late into the night. I paused it halfway through. I saw 40 minutes was passed. I was like, I got another 40 minutes. I hit play, and those last 40 minutes were gone before I knew it. This was a very well-paced show. I enjoyed it. Several problems, but definitely not with the pacing, definitely not with the action, definitely not with the actors. I'm starting to second guess my own 5, but between the three of us...
Give it a 6.
Nope, I'm not going to do it.
Give it a 6.
You won't bully me into it. All right, I give it a 6.
Give it a 6.
And with that, we close the book on Rewind, and the chances are we'll never speak of that show again.
Ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Changing Patterns. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. 2 housewives trying to enter the fashion industry can't find a store willing to buy their designs. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots and Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes. Or download the app for Daily Motion and check out all of the commotion. I just run out of breath. Sometimes the sentences are too long.
I'm trying to help you out.
Sorry, thank you. Anyway, go to couchpilotspodcast.com. I created a phrase about a year ago. The phrase is one-stop shop. No one has ever said it before me. No one has ever said it after me. What it means is there's one place you can go for all of your needs concerning this thing. And that thing is Couch Pilots, and that place is couchpilotspodcast.com.
Amen to that, brother.
So if you like the show, you can listen to all the episodes there. You can check out all of our social media. We have Instagram, Facebook,
You can
Twitter.
even email us from the site.
It's so easy. We basically what
It's
we did.
so easy that everybody wants to please me, baby.
Who sings that song?
Guns N' Roses.
Love that.
It's so easy. Nothing seems to please me. I don't feel so right as I fade into the night. Fall down.
Pretty good.
Thanks.
Did you do karaoke much?
No.
You should.
Thank you.
Or you should call 910 Pilots 1. That's 745-6871. Arguably, Captain Philip Restisher and I's most favorite way to interact with our guests, or our listeners, rather.
Yes. Today is March 26th.
Great day.
I'm going to say for a whole month
Hold on a
until
second.
April.
What are you doing?
You shut your mouth.
What are you doing?
Until the end of April,
What?
people that call into the show
What are you doing?
will get
No.
100,000 frequent flyer points. It's going to happen.
What? What are you doing? Oh my God! You think these?
I want voicemails. I love them. I miss Tyler. I miss the robot. I miss Lori Garcia's voice, even though I forget when she calls.
You're acting like these frequent flyer points are just some fake thing we made up that can be given out willy-nilly, when in fact there's something absolutely real that you're just giving out, again, willy and or nilly.
Can I be Nilly?
I have a niece named Nilly.
I'm going down, baby, Oak Street on the Range Rover.
Band-Aid on my nose.
Ready to let it go.
What was
Shimmy, kimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, right.
Yeah, I got a dirty story I was going to tell him. I'm going to pass that up. Anyway,
Dirty story about Nelly, or the song?
Yeah.
You had sex with that song?
I don't know, but maybe. Anyway.
Come on, you can do better than that.
I could, you're right. So much so that I would say you could go to patreon.com, check out Couch Pilots there. If you like what we do on a week-to-week basis, throw us a little love. We do this for free, and we've done it for free for over coming on 2.5 years.
We're getting, the next episode will be season 13, episode 1.
We have a hell of a time doing it. We have a lot of fun. If you enjoy what we do, if you want to throw us a few shekels, we'll gladly take it. It helps keeps the lights on here. Patreon.com is a website to support people in their ventures. And Couch Pilots is Blake and I's venture. We've had it for a few years now. We have a hell of a time doing it, like I said, and we'd love it if you'd be able to support us in any fashion. If not, that's cool. Don't worry about it. We have a few people that support us. We love it. We're so happy and grateful for them. If you want to join their ranks, awesome. There are different levels of support and ultimately reciprocation from us that we will give you if you support us.
And it's patreon.com/couchpilots.
Absolutely. Captain Philip, rest assured, what a great event today. What a wonderful flight. Is there anything you'd like to say to our frequent flyers before we go today?
Yes.
Hit me.
I do want to say something to our frequent flyers. I also want to say something to the people who have listened to us for the first time. Mm-hmm. I want to make this world a better place.
Amen.
And I can't do it alone.
Amen.
Last week I said, hey, wave to somebody, say hi.
Yeah.
Take it one step further. Today, look at somebody and give them a compliment. Don't half-ass it like as you're walking by. Hey, nice shoes.
Mean it. Own it.
Look them in the eyes and I say, I'm gonna start with you, Jason. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready to receive your love.
All right, I'm looking you in the eyes. I want to tell you that you're a very good friend of mine, and I think you are very creative, and you make this an enjoyable show.
Oh, my God. And, Blake, I looked at you, and I say, you know what? Week after week, you play the fool, but God damn it, you're one of the smartest, most intelligent, and funny guys I know. I'm so happy to do this show with you every week.
Love you, buddy.
I love you, too.
And listeners, we love you, and love your neighbor.
Blake, I hope you take this opportunity. As I commandeer so many different parts of this show, I hope you commandeer the end here and have a positive message week after week to deliver to all of our frequent flyers.
I'm changing my ways.
In whatever form that takes. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
my
seriously,
God.
that's my new this is such a dark place right now. This is a dark world.
Right.
Everything's bad.
Yeah.
Just do something nice.
Yeah.
You know?
It's those little things that can make the change, right?
Little things like the way you touch little things that they mean so much. I am done. Be nice to each other, fuck faces.
And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it is always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.